Hello, everyone, and welcome to your favorite podcast ever, The Assumption Effect, with your host, myself, Nikki, and the wonderful Flossie.
My hair is all over the place. There you go. All right.
Well, not everybody can see us unless they're on YouTube,
Okay.
so that's a
For
plus.
those of you on YouTube, I was fixing my hair.
So, today's episode, we're going to talk about, well, it's called Do Not Feed the Birds. And,
Period.
right. So, we're going to explain what a bird is and partial manifestations. And
Hmm.
sure, you can manifest anything you want. And if you find a bird to your liking and you want to manifest them instead of your SP, we're going to go deep into this and discuss it a little bit more. I'll let Flossie take it away from here.
So, first of all, to help you guys, for those of you who are maybe newer to the manifestation community, or maybe you've listened to other things and you just really haven't heard it before, maybe you've not heard anybody explain it, but when you hear people talk about BBLs, in this community, they're not referring to the Brazilian butt lift, but actually birds before land. And birds before land was a term that was coined to mean essentially partial manifestation. So, when you're working on manifesting something, it may not be unusual to experience what is referred to as the bird before land. And the bird before land term refers to that when sailors would be discovering new worlds, that they would know that they were close to land when they saw birds, because birds don't typically just hang out in an ocean where there isn't any land, because they can only literally fly so far. Plus, there's things like food and whatnot. So, and rest, of course. So anyway, that's just a term that's used. And birds before land are pretty cool. A lot of times it's you assign a meaning to everything, but we just say assign the meaning that you're on the right path, that your 3D reality is starting to conform. If you don't experience a bird or partial manifestation, that doesn't mean you're not getting what you want. It just means that either you didn't have that experience or not something that you recognized as one. And no worries, because you're still going to get your shit anyway. But if you do have a bird, we just are like, yeah, that means you're doing what you need to do and you're on the right path.
Now, birds can mean a number of different things to different people. I've
Hmm.
had people message me and say, Nikki, I'm manifesting marriage, and my best friend just got engaged. Is that a bird? You assign the meaning to everything. So sure, it's a bird, but more often than not, a bird is something that presents itself to you. So say for instance, you're manifesting SP and you start getting men coming after you or women out of the woodworks like, "Hey, what's up?" trying to slide into your DMs. That would be considered a bird. That's a partial manifestation. That's men or women noticing you, starting to repeat some of your affirmations, even. Not always, but sometimes. Or if you're manifesting money, a bird can look like you're starting to get like a raise at work or random deposits, or you got a check for like a class action lawsuit you didn't know you signed up for in the mail, just random different things. It may not be the full manifestation, it may not be the person or the company or the exact amount, but it's partial, meaning that yes, you're impressing your subconscious. Yes, it's unfolding in the 3D. That's what a bird is. But we really want to talk about do not feed the birds. Don't stop at the bird. Because when you feed a bird, think about ducks, because that's what I think of when I say feed the birds. You're really not supposed to give them breadcrumbs, just to let you know. But you give them frozen peas, right? That's what you're supposed to feed the ducks. Throw them some peas. And what happens next time you come to the park? They're going to keep coming back and more are coming with them. So if you start giving more attention and more awareness to the birds, you're going to experience more birds. So the more you feed that partial manifestation, you're going to keep manifesting partial manifestations. Really, the best plan of action is just to say, okay, that's nice. I know my main thing's coming, and you keep persisting with the main thing.
But one of the reasons why we made this video, and like we said, the bird can be many different things. It could literally be an X coming forward because you have less resistance to them, like a non-SPX. It could literally be, you're seeing the amounts of money you're manifesting, or you see someone receiving something similar to what you're manifesting. All those sorts of things are valid. Whatever meaning you assign is valid. But this is what we're seeing lately, and this is why we're making the video. Sorry, I get long-winded, is that there's a lot of people lately that are manifesting a relationship, for example, and they'll have a bird come along and they're trying to make the bird fit into being what they want, even though it doesn't. Now, we're going to be absolutely clear. If a bird comes forth, even if they don't check all your boxes, but for some reason you're interested in them, can you manifest them to be exactly what you want, just like any other person? Of course you can. It doesn't matter what comes forth, and it doesn't matter if they check one box. Like you could literally turn that person into your specific person and have them check all your boxes because everything is changeable by you changing your dominant thoughts. But my thing is that I think that I think there's a fine line between having a bird come forth and trying to make that person fit into a box that they don't fit into and being like, well, this person showed up. I'm going to make this my SP now because they said hello to me. And it's kind of like, if you're manifesting your specific person, or maybe even you're manifesting someone new, like maybe you're open to manifesting someone new and you have a list and you have a list of all the things that you would like with this person, all their qualities, all of their, attributes. And maybe in the back of your mind, you have some things that for you are like an absolute no. I mean, we do sometimes have things that are like, I absolutely do not want to experience XYZ. And it doesn't matter what it is because it's all your personal preference. But if a bird comes forth and that person's just meant to potentially be just a partial manifestation because that's what it is, and maybe they have a couple of your absolute deal breakers, no's. I don't understand why some people are like, well, I'm going to turn this person into my SP. You don't know this person. You just met this person. You don't have any past history with this person. You're not already in love with this person. And this person already comes with a bunch of your deal breakers or things that you can't stand. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to put all this work and effort into someone just because they stopped the fuck by. Why?
Right. I don't get it. And here's the other thing. I'll have people that say they have six SPs because they've changed these other birds into SPs, and they're like, well, I'm manifesting all of them. Unless you're polygamous, a polygamist, is that what it is that the correct term?
Yeah.
Unless you're poly, or you want an open relationship, can you manifest six different people to be in love with you? Yes. Can you manifest six committed relationships? Yes. But only if your dominant assumption is that you can be in six committed relationships. And most of the time, our logical mind wants to think, okay, that's a poly relationship or it is a open relationship. And then you have all these other limitations. But more often than not, and I know Flossie gets it too, and I just dealt with a client with this, when you have somebody manifesting for two SPs and they SP1's committed to me. SP2's committed to me. SP1 is madly in love with me. SP1 spends all his time with me. And the same affirmations for SP2. But you want a committed, monogamous relationship. Why do you think you don't have movement? Because your logical assumption or the assumptions or your personal morals and beliefs are the ones that are keeping it back. Because to you, you want a committed relationship with one person, yet you're manifesting a committed relationship from two. When those things happen, when birds show up, when you have that desperate need for really a lot of the times it's somebody that really has a desperate need just to get married or get attention because they haven't been shown that before. So somebody gives them a little bit of attention and they'll take it. But the best thing to do is manifest for clarity. I know exactly who I want. Go general. If a bird comes in and they check all your boxes and you don't know if you want your original SP anymore, I'm with the best person for me. I am in a happy relationship. My person and I have a brilliant, amazing, committed, happy relationship. Whatever you need to say to have that clarity, go general or manifest clarity separately. I know exactly what I want. I know exactly who I want.
And you have to keep in mind that things are going to be based on your dominant thoughts and assumptions that you hold about life. I do have some clients that are manifesting more than one specific person, and there's different reasons for that, that they're doing that. Now, I do think that there's separate manifestations, and I think that like I can manifest a Mercedes and I can manifest a BMW and I can get them both. I think it's how well you walk the fine line of I am in a committed relationship to this person and I'm in a committed relationship to that person. If someone has like really, really strong assumptions that you can absolutely only be with one person, there could be, interference from that very strong assumption if it's very strong. Um, I know a lot of people that want to manifest more than one SP because their mindset is, well, I want the best person to win. And it's still, but see, it's still going to be based on your dominant thoughts and assumptions. And, there's some people who just want to feel fought over. And sometimes I would challenge you if that's you to be like, why do I want to be fought over? What validation or reassurance am I looking for that I feel the need to have two people be want to be with me and squabble over me? Because usually it comes from somewhere. And I'm not saying like, hey, if that's truly what you want, if you want dudes or chicks fighting the fuck over you, be my guest. You can absolutely manifest that. But it's like, is that what your true desire is? Or is there something that a need that you want to have fulfilled that isn't being fulfilled? And so you're looking to fulfill it another way. That's all that we're saying is that, like, be clear on what you want and what's important to you. But just because you want a relationship doesn't mean that you have to feel like I have to force this person into being my SP when they probably more likely are truly a bird because they have massive deal breakers for me that on if there was any other person who was walking past you that would even not have any of those deal breakers, you would just toss this person aside. And so try to think about like what is my desperation and lack truly coming from, and do I actually want this person? Because if at the end of the day you're like, you know what, at the end I don't truly want this person, and if someone even a tenth better came along I would ditch this person, then you don't really want that person.
And some of you might be surprised to know, Flossie and I have been coaches for many years now, and we've had several clients that did successfully manifest a bird or their SP or whoever, and they spent all that time and effort on that person, and then once they got them, the deal breakers they were once blind to that they knew existed in the first place became major deal breakers, and really they were just manifesting satisfaction to get that attention because they were had a problem with rejection or they had a problem with being ignored. So as soon as the SP came forward, they're like, "Nah, I'm bored. I don't want this dude."
Mhm.
Or, "Nah, I don't like him because he watches cartoons or he likes cars too much or something ridiculous." But we see people switch SPs like they're changing fucking underwear.
And
And
I mean,
whatever, teach their own.
hey, I mean, it's your reality. You can be to have anything that you want. If you wake up one day and you decide that you're tired of the busboy from Denny's and you want Aquaman and you want to manifest someone else, be our guest. If you're manifesting Aquaman and Aquaman shows up and you're like, yeah, I think I like Captain America better, and you go after Captain America, no worries. We're going to be here and be supportive of your decisions. But don't be like, oh, here's a busboy from Denny's and they're not really being what I want. And oh, here comes, someone who's not literally any better. They're actually worse, but I'm gonna just make them my new SP now because someone's actually texting me.
The
Like,
washer from Denny's.
yeah, so you went from the busboy at Denny's to the dishwasher from Denny's. Hey, no disrespect for people who work
Right.
in food service. We're just saying, like, as a comparative speaking, because like when I think of the busboy at Denny's, I think of like that geeky high schooler that probably has acne that wants to be doing something else. And then I'm comparing that literally to Aquaman. Come on, Aquaman. Aquaman. It's just a point of reference. Like you don't have to settle, is what the main point is. But you can literally turn the busboy from Denny's into Aquaman if you want. But then if you don't feel like it, like why bother? Like why bother to turn a bird
That's a lot
into
of work.
something that, I mean, you can manifest a different version of anybody. It's just I think that there's other reasons why a lot of times people are having more than one bird, and it's just like reflect that upon yourself. Do I actually want this person, or is it because this is a person who's living and breathing and I just don't think I could get anybody else? Because if that's your response, then that's why things aren't, being reflected back to you, mirrored back to you the way you want, because you're just saying like I'm never going to find what I'm looking for. Well, that if that's your dominant thought, that's what you're going to experience.
Right. So don't feed the birds, guys. Unless you really want that bird, then give them all the peas and carrots you want. But at the end of the day, don't accept a partial manifestation because it gave you a little bit of attention.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, got to keep in mind, especially if you came from the law of attraction community, when they would say this or something better, a lot of times what they were referring to was either your manifestation or essentially what was a bird. And are there people out there in the manifestation community that they're manifesting their original specific person? They know exactly what they want. A bird comes along who checks every single box. To them, they're literally better than their specific person ever was, and they're treating them like a diamond. And they say, "Bye, Felicia," to the old SP and welcome a new SP. Yes, because they're getting something much, much better than what they feel like they had. And when that came along, they're like, I didn't actually want my SP as much as I thought I did. I just wanted a happy, loving, secure relationship. Can you change your mind and go for someone who shows up, who has every single quality that you're looking for, or most of them? Of course you can. But what we're saying is like if you're manifesting an SP and somebody comes along who literally like is SP to the negative 5,000 version, why would you like settle for something like well beneath what you were even manifesting in the first place just because that's what's came along?
Exactly. So we hope you enjoyed this podcast. We'll see you next on the next one. If you have comments, questions, suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comments if they're allowed on the streaming service. I'm not really sure. But we'll see you guys next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.